All right, so we are now working with our last assignment, which was our spot illustration. And now for assignment 8, we are going to add text to go with this. And logo types are different than logos. A logo type is basically customized lettering. It's a font solution or a type design that sometimes is used as a logo, as in this case, or in Coca-Cola's case, right? And then other times it's used along with an image logo, such as this. It can even be incorporated in it. And then there's a subset of logo types called a flag. And a text flag, it's kind of hard to describe what it is, but USA kind of has a text flag, which is a very basic sans serif font, in big block letters. New York has a text flag. And then properties like Amazing Spider-Man, has a text flag. This is it. And no matter what issue of Amazing Spider-Man it is, that is the basic spacing and character of the type, right? So sometimes that will be made out of rock, sometimes that will be red, sometimes it will be psychedelic, but it will always be these shapes. A script "the" and a block font for Amazing and Spider-Man on an arc. So type design is more than just choosing a good font, right? Movies have to come up with their own flags. Type design has to do with finding the character of the lettering that suits the imagery and the attitude you want. So when we look at Fiesta, you'll see a lot of text flags, right? Lots of different solutions. Here we see it in a variety of different uses. I think these are for products like napkins and plates, things like that. We see it for a grocery store, and this has a logo and a logo type flag that goes with it. And you see how the two complement each other. So this is very curvy and fun and primary, and then this is very curvy, very gestural, kind of looks like samba dancing, and then just adds a drop shadow to it to help it pop out. So you can research text solutions just like you research imagery. This one is a lot more kind of sophisticated looking, right? And yet very free-flowing using text. This one looks grungier, tries to look more street art, and yet decorative. So we don't want to be lazy or derivative. We want to find our own solutions for these. So how do we go about that? It's good to be informed, but we don't want to just copy, right? So what do they have in common? They're all pretty colorful. They all seem to be decorated, but we want to find our own take, and we go back to our spot illustration to figure out what the best way to do that is, right? So if you look at this example, if we have text already built into our spot illustration, we want to think, how can we use text in a more dynamic way? And not just the text letters themselves, but also the shape of the text. Do we want to curve it? Do we want it to be vertical as opposed to horizontal? Do we want to vary the size of letters? Do we want to play with the space between the letters in a more dynamic way? Think of it as an image first and letters second. So this is how we get started. We go to a site, defont.com. And there are lots of sites like this. Every day, designers donate for open use font designs. This is a beautiful one called Chasing Embers. And we can look at it, and they give you this wonderful tool here. Fiesta NLC 2016, let's say. I want to see what that looks like large in this font. Just to get an idea. Now this might actually have some potential, right? This makes it look like it's stamped with denim. You know, that's a very interesting font solution. And it's a script font that connects. So if you like that, this just happens to be the last one that was uploaded, you can download it. And I'll show you how you install that. And then they give a little sample of how that's used with an image. So if I download that, it comes as a zip file. You can do this from any computer, PC or Mac. I download a ton of fonts. You unzip it. And fonts are basically, they're just vectors, a collection of vectors. And then either a TTF or an OTF, you just double click, and on a Mac, on your Macs, and you have you don't need administrative privileges to add fonts. You're just going to install the font. So a tool called FontBook opens up on Macs, and then you just say install. Very simple. And as soon as that's validated and in your font book, you will be able to access that font in any program. In Illustrator, in Photoshop, in Microsoft Word, and you can use it. So what is it called? It's called Chasing Embers. This is a font I downloaded and used for our play that we're putting on. It's like a 1950s font. And then I just modified it a little bit for the type solution for that play. So here it is, a demo version of Chasing Embers. Now, why would designers do that? Why would type designers offer these designs up for free? Well, this shows me that these type designers really know what they're doing. And so I might buy other types from them as a designer. But this is able to be used and modified if it's on default. Okay, also we can search. We can search Fiesta. Let's see if there's any font that was uploaded with that name. And it will use my preview, and it will show me, oh, that's nice and blocky and clean. This one's script. This one's Mexican Fiesta. And so even that had a lot. Or I can do graffiti if I want that kind of approach. Though I might have spelled it wrong. Or I could try just modern or elegant. And what we're looking at is the form. This makes it look like it's, an Italian race car brand. And maybe for a certain approach that would work really well. Ooh, that's kind of fun. Broken up. It's called Taco Modern. Now, we're not just going to use the font as is, but this gives us a starting place. Ooh, I really like this. Very Bauhaus. It gives us a starting place. So let me, that one's pretty interesting. I don't know. Yeah, I'll play with this one. It's just totally unexpected. So if I download that font, same thing. I go to downloads. I unzip it. I open up the folder. And I install the font. This one was designed in 2012. So the font is just a vast catalog of lots and lots of images. And it's good to put in your own type. to see how it works with a combination of capitals and lowercase, because some fonts will only be capitals, some will have a mix. Most sample fonts will not come with symbols, but I'll always put numbers in my sample so I can see if they contain numbers. So notice here they don't have numbers, and Chasing Embers does not include numbers. But this one does, Moderno. You can download as many as you want, install as many as you want. They take almost no memory on your computer. But you need to know their name. So I actually keep this open just so I can remember the names of those fonts, because they can be difficult. Oh, I already did that one. Let's see, Moderno, there it is. This one comes with a white and black stroke or without, right? So I could use either one. And I'd have to install them both separately. And sometimes they'll have little issues, and you just have to say, yes, I understand that issue. Just like any shareware, there might be little bugs to it for certain versions. Any open source stuff. All right, and these truly are open source, because all these are a collection of vectors, just linked to a type. So now what do? I go to Illustrator, directly to Illustrator. We've never done this before. I'm not opening anything up in Illustrator. I'm just opening Illustrator on its own. And I'm going to create a type sheet. And I can go to my sketch and I can think, okay, what type do I actually want? Now for my Christmas card, I want kind of a tattoo-like type, right? Something like this. But I'll show you for Fiesta, because I think it will help you. And I don't want you to just do something generic. So I want everyone to tackle this Fiesta theme. So we're going to go to File in Illustrator. We're going to say New. We're going to make it a print format profile. And we're going to call it our name and then Fiesta type sheet. Show you how important type is. Okay, that will give us a standard artboard. And now, for the first time in any Adobe program, we are using the type tool, which is a big T. Now notice, in that drawer, there are lots of versions of it. And the one I like a lot is the Type on Path tool. But there's also a new area type tool, which I haven't played with much, which could be a lot of fun, which is to like fill up a certain shape with the type. So let's just use the straightforward type tool first. Just like in a Word document, you're going to click at the top of your sheet, and then we are going to type what we want. So let's say NLC Fiesta, I'm going to do all capitals, 2016. Okay, then you can select that, and you can choose, just like a Word document, a different font size, different point size. I'm going to go right to 72. Okay, and now we can pick a new font. So these are some of the ones that I selected. So Moderno, there it is. Actually, let's do a different step. So do it with just the standard default Myriad Pro at 72 regular. And then I want you to select it, copy it, make a new layer, and then edit, paste in place. And then use your big, large selection tool, the black arrow, to move it down. Okay? And lock the bottom layer. Select this layer, use the type tool, select it all, just like you would in a Word document, and change your font. So there's another one, and make it fit. So I need a slightly smaller size to just see. So these are the defaults. Default spacing, default sizes of these fonts. Go ahead and copy that. You actually have to copy it as a layer. So use that selection, Command C to copy.